So just bring your awareness straight away into your breath, so that as you inhale, you really just feel the breath in your belly. And let it be smooth. It doesn't have to be big to be deep. It's that very strange thing where you can have very deep breath and it can be very small. So how deep can you make your breath without making it big bellows breath? So a way of doing that is lengthening. It's almost like sipping the breath like a straw rather than gulping it back. So just see, can you make your breath deep and connected and steady, so that your inhale is perhaps a little bit longer than your exhalation. And you're just feeling the places in your breath that feel very comfortable, and then maybe the places that are struggling a little bit, places that are just talking to you about the effort they're having to make with this. But notice what's really enjoying it. Where in your body, where in your belly can you feel a sense of, as you lengthen and smoothen out the breath and make it deep in a very wholesome way in your whole belly? How is that in your body? And then notice, like, I love finding the place in my breath that I enjoy the most. So as you travel through that roller coaster of the wave of your breath, as it rises, as it crests, as it drops, as it really sinks beneath, where in the cycle of your breath do you feel just like where do you feel joy in your breath right now in this moment? Where do you feel a sense of peace or connectedness or tranquility or something? Sometimes I feel like I'm a different person at all the different parts of my breath. You know, that if you were to talk to me on my inhalation or I was to talk to you on my exhalation, it's kind of a random thought, but that I'm a completely different person in each of them. There's a different tone in me, a different texture in me. Just notice how that is in you. As you inhale, as you exhale, can you feel how the tone and the texture of the different parts of your inhalation are different than the tone and the texture of the different parts of your exhalation? Such an ocean of knowing, such an amazing vastness to connect with. This multitude of sensations, this multitude of tones that resonate through your being, through your body. And what's amazing is that your breath is always with you. And one of the main things I've really been dwelling on, what is it that I've been learning about because of my leg, you know, and that my main thing is that it's not what is the best movement to do when your leg is sore or whatever. It's more, what attitude do you have to have in your body to move in wellness? And that applies to everything. And same thing, you know, at any given moment, in any given time in our life, any time during the day, it's that inquiry towards where am I well in this moment, or where am I feeling okay in this moment, that is always with us. We can have that mindset, that attitude always, which is amazing. So as you rest here right now, just notice, where am I well right now? Where am I okay? Where is there a sense of wholesomeness or connectedness, just in the whole of me? And this is something you can practice continuously during the day. When I first learned this practice, I put it as a reminder in my phone. Just find wellness, find wellness. And as you listen into that place of wellness in your body, as you connect to it, as you really feel the resource of it, and just appreciate it. I deeply appreciate my wellness. And then just go back to the breath one more time and allow yourself to travel through the wave of the breath and feeling the place of wellness in your body, and also feel the wave of your breath. And be connected. Nice, great. So come bend your knees and bring your feet to stand. Feet are hip distance apart, flat on the floor. Your hands can either rest along beside you, or you can rest your hands on your belly. And just draw your lower back down and flatten into the floor. So the attitude of movement that we have is, what is happening in my body as I flatten down and as I arch, and what are the sensations that are arising as I do this movement? And how do I connect to the sense of my body in motion in this moment? As I flatten down, as I arch, as I flatten down, and as I arch. One more time, flattening down into the floor and then arching through the lower back. Nice. So flatten down into the floor and then just sway your knees gently from side to side. You can move your arms out a little bit more to the sides as you sway your knees from side to side. And notice if there's a drag or a pull or a groany achiness emerging from anywhere in your body. Maybe there is, maybe there isn't. But just take a sensory photograph of your body. How does this feel in my body right now? And you just settle down into your breath again, really letting your breath be steady as you rock your knees from side to side. Nice. And then draw your right knee up onto your chest, squeeze it in. And as you squeeze your right knee in, just feel the deep of your hip. Feel your lower back soften, your buttock release, and really pull your knee closer and closer so you allow something to change in the deep of your hip. Allow a softening or a settling. Nice. And then bring your arms along beside you and draw a circle with your right knee. And as you draw the circle with your right knee, keep your lower back on the floor. So you're feeling like the back of your body is very steady on the floor, and your right knee is drawing a circle in the air. And you're circling and you're feeling into the right hip, and you're noticing how that affects your belly, the other leg, and how your lower back wants to arch at different points in the circle. Draw a circle in the other direction. Circling. I'm really appreciating, a bit like in the breath, there's certain parts of the breath that feel really great and other ones that don't feel as great. You know what I mean? They feel fine, but same thing in this movement. There's certain parts of this movement that feel really great. Oh my God, it feels amazing. And then there's other parts that feel okay. So see if you can discern the bits that you really go, oh, that feels so great for my hip. Great, nice. Stretch your right leg straight up towards the ceiling. And then just point your toes, flex your foot, point your toes and flex your foot. And one more time, point your toes and flex your foot. So keep your foot flexing, bend your knee and bring your right hand to your right knee. And then open your right knee out to the side and don't let your lower back lift off the floor. And then draw your right knee back up to center. And again, draw your right knee out to the side, but you're listening to your body. Even though we're challenging the inner thigh and our hip, we're not hurting ourselves. We're really listening to what is a natural movement here. And then back up to center. One more time. Draw your right knee out to the side. Breathing into your belly as you pause there. And then all the way back up to center. Nice. Lower your right foot to the floor. And draw your left knee up onto your chest and squeeze your left knee deeply down towards you. And just let that settle, let it soften, let a deep sense of your belly, of your hips, of the lower back, really sinking, settling, deepening into the floor. Nice. Bring your arms long beside you and then draw a circle with your left knee. And again, as we did with the breath, where feels really juicy and maybe where do you struggle a little bit in this range of motion. So feel the places that are very easy and then the places that are a little bit less easy or uneasy. Circle with your left knee. Your lower back is staying very steady on the floor. Your body staying still as you draw the circle. And then circle in the other direction. Circling, rolling. Again, just noticing where do I feel really comfortable? Where feels really nice in this circle, in this rotation of my hip. Nice. All the way back to center. Stretch the left leg up towards the ceiling. Point your toes. And send your heel towards the ceiling. Point your toes. Heel towards the ceiling. Point your toes. And heel towards the ceiling. Nice. Keep your foot flexed with your heel up towards the ceiling and then bend your knee. Keep your foot really strong and then open your left knee out to the side, holding onto your left knee with your left hand. And then come back up to center. And then open your left knee to the side, listening to your inner thigh as you do this. And then back up to center. And then left knee out to the side and just pausing there. Just feel the deep of your hip, your lower back sinking. The sense of your belly. Nice. Come all the way back up and squeeze both knees towards you. Hug both knees deeply down. Nice. And then just rock from side to side. As you rock, just feel the shoulders, the lower back, the back of the hips. Just the sense of how do you rock from one side to the other. How nice. So lower your left foot to the floor. Hold on to your right knee with your right hand. And then from here, stretch your left leg long so it floats just above the floor. If for any reason that feels too strong on your hip, then bend your knee to the point that it feels comfortable or bring your foot to the floor. So really see what level of stretch. It's not about what it looks like. It's really about meeting like a little bit of a bend in your knee might feel amazing then. You're like, oh great, that makes such a difference. Whereas when my leg is super stretched, maybe that's too much of a strain. So find the place where you feel really well and that you can grow in the posture rather than struggling. Slowly begin to draw your right knee out towards the right. And as you do that, you may find that you have to bend your left knee a little bit. So you just see as you draw your right knee back up to center, and then right knee out towards the right, and right knee back up to center. Nice. Last time, right knee towards the right. And then back up to center. Bend both knees, bring both feet to the floor. Just pause there, hands on your belly. Just let that settle. Really deep abdominal work there, deep hip work, inner thighs. Those are stabilizing. And then drop both knees down towards the right. And just bring your hands to the place where your ribs stick up a little bit out of your rib cage. So just at the top of your belly, the ribs will flare slightly forward. And so especially on the left side, as you breathe, feel like as you inhale, you fill into the ribs. And then as you exhale, see if you can sink it, melt it down, sink it back, drop the belly, really soften into that rib. And again, just deepen, almost like fill your breath into the hand on the left-hand side of your rib cage. And then as you exhale, let yourself sink and soften and really settle into the floor. Feel your left hip softening, feel your left belly softening, the left rib cage softening. One more time, breathe into that left hand. And then as you exhale, feel it soften, feel it drop, feel it sink. Nice. Come all the way back up to center. And then draw the left knee up onto your chest, interlock your fingers and hold it in. So again, with the right leg, choose the level that you want to go with your right leg. So either stretch your right leg long till it floats just above the floor, or bend your knee a little bit or a lot, or bring your foot to the floor. And you can decide what feels right for you. It's very easy, just bend it a little bit. So right hand is resting on the front of your right thigh or on the floor beside you. Left hand is on your left knee, and then open your left knee out to the side. And then coming back up to center. And draw your left knee to the side. And coming back up to center. Last time, left knee to the side. And then back up to center. Squeeze both knees towards you, hug them in. And then bring both feet to the floor. Drop both knees down towards the left and bring your hands to your lower rib cage. And then breathe into the right hand, so fill into that place where your ribs are underneath your right hand. And then as you exhale, let yourself sink and melt, and you're trying to soften the whole of the right side of your body. Again, breathing into your right hand. And as you exhale, let yourself sink and melt and deepen. And one more time, inhaling, filling into your rib cage. And as you exhale, let it settle, let it soften, let it deepen. Nice, come all the way back up to center. So stretch both arms straight up towards the ceiling. And then, so you're going to bend your elbows, but your elbows aren't going to move outwards, and just touch the sides of your head. And so your elbows are still in the same place, and then reach straight up towards the ceiling again. So again, bend your elbows so your fingers come to the sides of your head. And then straight up towards the ceiling. Nice. So bend your elbows, bring your fingers to the side of your head. Stretch your hands up towards the ceiling, and then bring your hands all the way down until your hands rest on the floor beside you. Nice. So we're going to, this movement with our arms, we're going to do it in connection to something else. So we'll do that in a moment. So we'll try it again. Straight up towards the ceiling with your arms, and then bend your elbows and bring your fingers to the side of your head. Reach your hands up towards the ceiling, and then bring your arms down long beside you. Super cool. So feet are hip distance apart. Push both feet down and lift slowly up along your spine. And just feel the kind of the groany achiness of that. The first time you do it in a class, it always feels a bit heavy and dull. And slowly rolling down and land all the way down. So really just feel and appreciate that you can warm up into your spine. So traveling up again. So just traveling up and down at your pace, your speed, your distance. Really feeling the sense of how do I travel along my spine? How do I warm up into my spine as I lift my hips up off the floor? Really appreciate the top of the movement. So squeeze your bum and push your hips a little bit extra towards the ceiling if that feels like wellness for you. If it doesn't, then don't do that. Just travel up and down along your spine, just really feeling that there is wellness in your spine, and you can feel the floor beneath your spine as you travel along it. Nice. And then all the way down and land on the floor. So we're going to incorporate the arm thing into this, okay? So your bum is on the floor, your arms are long beside you. So rising up along your spine and lift up till your knees, your hips and your shoulders are in one straight line. So you're not so high, you're kind of in a straight line. And now reach your arms up towards the ceiling. And then bend your elbows so your fingers come beside your head. And then reach your arms straight up towards the ceiling. And as your arms begin to move down towards the floor, feel like your belly gets stronger and your hips can just push ever so slightly upwards. Just feel it's like you connect through the body. And then lift your arms straight up towards the ceiling. Bend your elbows and bring your fingers to the side of your head. Stretch your arms up towards the ceiling, and as your arms lower down, feel like you can just feel the sense of connection through the body as a tone emerges through the front of your body. One more time. You can lower your bum down a little bit if you're feeling effort, and then reaching your arms up towards the ceiling. Bend your elbows, bring your fingers to the side of your head, and then reaching up towards the ceiling with your fingers. Lower your arms down and maybe push your hips a little bit towards the ceiling as your arms lower down. Nice. Lower all the way down. You probably feel fatigue in the buttocks and the legs there. And just bring the soles of your feet together and drop your knees wide. So just let yourself rest there. Hands resting on your belly. And just settle in. Let yourself drop down through the inner thighs. Soften into the belly. Hands resting on your belly perhaps. And as you rest your hands on your belly, just deepen your breath into the belly. So as you inhale, feel the rise of your belly into your hands. It's a very small movement. And as you exhale, feel the fall of your belly. And as the belly falls, imagine that your hips are softening, the pelvis is softening, the legs are deepening, the lower back is softening. So every exhalation, really feel like you can deepen a little bit more. Really sinking on the exhalation, deepening. One more deep and steady breath down into your belly. And as you exhale, let it soften, let it deepen. Nice. So imagine your thighs are like a book. Lift the left knee up and bring it over towards the right. And then slide your left foot up until it travels up towards the right knee, and either stand your foot on the knee or on the calf or tuck your toes in behind. Bring your right hand down and place it lightly on your left knee, and then reach your left arm out and look down along your left arm by turning your head. And again, every exhalation that you take, let yourself soften into it, deepen into it. If it feels too deep, then take your hand off your leg. Or if it feels too deep, then slide your foot back a little bit. You have the tools to soften something or to bring yourself out of something if it feels too strong. So really use that. Don't struggle at the end or in something uncomfortable. Really have that inquiry that it's not the movement that's important, it's the internal attitude towards wellness. It's a mindset of movement that is important. Nice. Bring your head back to center. Bend your left elbow. Slide your left foot all the way back. Bring the soles of your feet together, your knees apart. And then drop your right knee over towards the left. And then slide your right foot up to whatever point feels right for you. Resting it wherever you need it to be or want it to be. You can bring your left hand to the outside of your right knee. And then reach your right arm long and look down along your right arm. But really see where you need to be with your hand and your foot. You know, if it's too deep, it's too deep. You know, really listen. That mindset is really deeply embedding itself into me. It's truly not what we look like. It's that this shape, this place that you're lying in right now, that you have the intelligence or the connection or the awareness to make it super awesome for yourself. Really feel like you're able to create a place or a posture of wellness for your body, which is an amazing skill. Nice. And then slowly bring your foot all the way back and bring both knees until they're standing, your feet are standing, and just flatten down into the lower back and then arching gently into your belly. Flattening down into the lower back and then arching into the belly. Nice. So just reach both hands up towards the ceiling again, and your palms are facing each other. You can have your feet a little bit out, you can drop your knees towards each other. It doesn't really matter what you do with your legs, just find a place of comfort or ease. And then reach your fingers as much as you can towards the ceiling, and then slowly keep reaching all the time. Lower your arms down until they come to land on the floor wide into a cross. So you're slowly lowering your arms down and wide. Your arms rest all the way onto the floor, let them relax, and then lift your arms off the floor and come all the way back up to bring your palms to touch in the center. And again, slowly lowering your arms down, but make it really like you're reaching deeply through your fingers and you've connected your spine to the floor, and you're reaching like through your elbows, through your armpits, from the center of your chest. So you can make this movement as strong as you feel is necessary or as easy as you feel is right for you. Drop your arms to the floor and then reach deeply from the center of your chest into your fingertips and extend your arms straight up towards the ceiling again. Nice, last time. Reaching deeply, engaging into your arms and your hands. Lower your arms down until they land on the floor. When they're all the way down, just let them rest. And we're just going to do a little bit of rotation. So turn your right palm until your palm is face down. So your thumb is pointing down towards your feet as such. And then turn your left palm so it's face down. Turn your right palm so it faces the ceiling. Turn your left palm so it faces the ceiling. So do that again really slowly and notice what happens to the front of your shoulders. So turn your right palm down. Turn your left palm down. Turn your right palm up. Notice what happens in the front of your shoulders. Turn your left palm up. Turn both palms down. Turn both palms up. So begin to exaggerate the movement of your shoulders. So when my palms roll down, my shoulders round a little bit forwards. When my palms face up, my shoulders pull backwards and they widen. Just feel that. How would you exaggerate the movement of the front of your shoulders as your palms come face down and as your palms face the ceiling? Just feel that. It's a really subtle movement, but this area here is often very locked down because we're continuously rounded forward over driving cars, writing in computers, writing, eating. Everything is locked and forward, whereas we should be reaching and picking and climbing and doing all kinds of things and, you know, harvesting and hanging out of things. So our arms should be open a lot during the day, where they're not. They're really closed and in a lot of the day. So this part of your shoulders, as we roll our palms downwards and as we roll our palms upwards, really just feel you're allowing some ease and softness into it. Nice, cool. So bring your arms beside you and then roll over onto your side and come up into your cat position. So your hands are underneath your shoulders, your knees are underneath your hips. And then just shoulder shrugs. So squeeze your shoulders backwards and push your shoulders forward. And that area that we were feeling into at the front of our shoulders, see if you can feel it here as we do this. What's happening in that armpit, front of shoulder area as you pull your shoulders backwards, as you push your shoulders forwards. What's happening? And you really connect into the movement of the front of your shoulders. Nice. And then draw a circle with your shoulders. And as you circle, feel how the shoulders glide in their sockets. How the shoulder blades roll. And maybe your spine is helping you. How does your spine help you roll your shoulders? And then circle in the other direction. Circling really deep circles. Deep rolls of circles. Nice. So just bend your right elbow a little bit and straighten it, and then bend your left elbow a little bit and straighten it. So we're going to look at the ceiling behind your right ear. So to look at the ceiling behind your right ear, you're going to bend your left elbow a little bit and turn your head and try and look at the ceiling behind you. So my left elbow is a little bit bent and I've turned to try and look at the ceiling behind me. And then come back up. And then try and look at the ceiling behind your left ear. So you bend your right elbow a little bit and look at the ceiling behind your left ear. And then come back up. One more time. Look at the ceiling behind your right ear. Bending your left elbow to help you. Come back up. And then look at the ceiling behind your left ear. And come back up. Nice. Come sit all the way back into your child's pose. Have your arms back beside you as you drop your head forward. And just resting down into your child's pose. And feeling the sense of how you round over your legs. How your belly and your thighs come into contact. How your breath is in your belly, but it moves into the back more, into the back of the ribs, the back of the buttocks. The back of the rib cage, the back of the shoulders. Nice. And then reach your hands forward and come all the way into your cat pose. And just rounding your back, tuck your chin under, looking towards your navel. And then lifting your chest, arching your back, look forward. Rounding your back, tuck your chin under, looking towards your navel. Lifting your chest, arching your back, look forward. And again, rounding your back, tuck your chin under, looking towards your navel. Lifting your chest, arching your back and looking forward. Super. Just do that a few more times and really hear, like in the breath, which part of this movement do you really dig? Like which part of it is in the arching or which part of it in the rounding? Do you really just go, oh, that's my movement of this moment. That's where my spine sings or expresses itself deeply in wellness. How do you sense that rounding, that arching? Nice. One more time. Rounding and arching. Nice. Look over your right shoulder, looking back. Look over your left shoulder and looking back. Right shoulder, looking back. Left shoulder and looking back. Nice. Pushing back into your downward dog. So push back into both feet. Your toes are strong on the floor. Your hands are connected. And just as you bend your right knee, let it bend because you're stretching the toes. And then as you bend the left knee, let it stretch because you're stretching the toes. So really feel like you're stretching the toes on the right foot. And then you're stretching the toes on the left foot. Stretching the toes on the right foot. Stretching the toes on the left foot. And again, stretching the toes on the right. Stretching the toes on the left. Nice. And then draw your heel down on the right deeply. And then draw your heel down on the left deeply. Nice. Drop both knees to the floor. And then come all the way to lie on your mat on your belly. So as you lie on your mat on your belly, have your arms straight out long in front of you and drop your head on the floor. So your arms are long, your legs are straight, and just feel the sense of your whole body in this moment. You know, the sense of the way your hands are touching the floor, your forearms, so the way there's a stretch in your armpits and your shoulders. Really acknowledge the opening of your armpits there. The push of your rib cage into the floor, the feeling of your hips and belly on the floor, the front of your thighs, your knees, your front of your feet. Nice. And then bend your elbows until your elbows come into that cactus pose. So that's where your elbows are straight out from your shoulders and then your hands are at a 90-degree angle to your elbows. So it's like, yeah, it's like the cactus pose. So your palms are wide and open, and there's a 90-degree angle between your hand, your elbow, and your shoulder. Cool. And then lift your right arm just a little bit off the floor and see if you can feel a stretch in that area at the front of your shoulder. And then lower your arm down. And then lift your left elbow off the floor and feel a stretch through the front of your shoulder. And then lower it down. Lift your right elbow up, stretching through the front of your shoulder. Lower it down. And then lift the left elbow up, stretching through the front of your shoulder. And lowering down. Nice. So stretch your left arm straight out. And then from here, actually bring both hands back, so change. So bring both hands to stand on the floor now. So it's like as if you're just about to push yourself off the floor and your two hands are standing and they're kind of either side of your chest, but they're wider than your mat. And then stretch your left arm long. And then from here, lift your right foot off the floor and begin to roll over onto your left side, and imagine that your right foot is going to come just a little bit over towards the left. So now you're feeling a stretch through the front of the left shoulder as you do this. So your left leg is long and your right foot is reaching behind you towards your left hand. And then bring your belly to the floor, bend both elbows. Nice. And then stretch your right arm long, straight out to the side and across. Push your left hand into the floor, roll over onto your right side a little bit, and then imagine that your left foot is going to try and come up in the direction a little bit towards your right hand. So you're feeling the stretch through the front of your right shoulder and the deep of your left hip. Bring yourself to the floor. Actually, bend both knees, and this is probably nicer. So stretch your left arm long, both knees are bent, and then just lift your right foot up and rock it over a little bit towards the left side. Drop both knees to the floor, bend both elbows, stretch your right arm long out to the side, and then pushing your left hand down, rock over onto your right and lift the left foot up over towards the right hand. So you're rocking your foot behind you and you're really stretching through the front of your shoulder. And just see if you can flow from one side to the other. So the arm that's straight is the one that's behind you. The elbow that's bent is the one in front of you. So I'll talk you through it. So your right elbow is bent, your left arm is straight, your right foot is reaching behind you, both knees to the floor. Stretch your right arm long, roll over onto the right side, reach the left foot behind you. One more time each side. Bend your right elbow, stretch your left arm, swing your right foot behind you. Come all the way back, always only moving in what's wellness. It's not about a shape, it's about just gliding through a sense of movement into the belly, into the body. And then coming all the way back. Nice, stretch your legs out long, bend your elbows and bring your head to rest on the back of your arms, hands. And just pausing there. And then bend your elbows in a little bit and then push your elbows down and reverse yourself backwards, and then walk your knees in a little bit so that you're kind of coming into a low cat pose, and then bring one hand to the floor and then the other hand to the floor, and then just either you can stay here in your cat pose or push back into your downward dog. So if you're pushing back into your downward dog, just feel it through both legs and stretch through both arms, or if you're staying in your cat pose, see if you could round your back deeply so you're stretching through the back of your body. Just feeling back of your body is lengthening, breathing into your belly, a sense of stretch and connection through the whole of your body. Nice. Drop your knees to the floor and come sit on your bum. So slowly coming to sit on your bum. If you have a block or a book that you want to sit on, you're very welcome to. So start with your legs straight out in front of you first. It's amazing, it was kind of raining at the beginning of the class, but I swear you can watch things grow right now. It's like, they're all sucking the water in and it just feels amazing out there. It's like a jungle. So nice. So your legs are out straight in front of you, and just roll out through your wrists. Just feel that. You know, we've been stretching the front of our shoulders, and we were twisting into our belly there. And just feel that through your shoulders, through your arms as you roll. Maybe appreciating the connectedness of your arms together. And then roll in the other direction. Nice. So bring your hands in front of you, face down, like as if you had your hands sitting on a table in front of you. And just notice that your arms have rolled inwards, and just maybe take with your one hand and poke that front of your armpit area. Notice how it's actually really tight. So just bring your opposite finger to the front of your armpit, and you'll feel that the muscles are very tight when your hands are in front of you and your elbows are in. Just feel that. You go, oh, look at that. There's muscles there. And then turn your palms upwards and feel how that changes your shoulders. Turn your palms downwards. And then turn your palms upwards. Nice. Bring your hands a little bit wider. So your elbows are still in, but your hands are moving wide. Feel as suddenly your chest begins to open. Nice. And then reach your arms all the way out. And again, feel that area, the front of your armpit, the front of your shoulders. And reach through your fingers, open into your chest. Turn your palms face down. Feel your shoulders rolling forward. Turn your palms face up, feel your shoulders opening. Turn your palms face down, feel your shoulders rolling forward. Turn your palms face up, and feel that opening. Nice. So you can stay with your legs out straight, or you can come into a cross-legged position. So if you're coming into cross-legged position, have your left foot on the inside and your right foot on the outside. My cross-legged position came back yesterday. It was very exciting. I was like, oh my God, it's back. So cross-legged position, and have both arms forward in front of you with your palms face down. And then reach your arms straight out to the sides. Turn your right palm to face the ceiling and feel your armpit opening, or the shoulder opening as you do that. And then reach your right hand straight up towards the ceiling. And then dive with your left hand behind your back and just rest your left hand just on the lower back. And feel how your left shoulder has rolled forward as you've done that. And then bring your right hand to the top of your head. Feel how that is in your shoulder. Maybe bring it to the back of your head. Feel how that is in your shoulder. If you find that you begin to really scooch to get there, then stop where you are. Bring your hand to the back of your neck slowly. And then just get really tall where you are. And just feel that sense of your elbow has direction. And let it be surging upwards, and your chest is widening, your sit bones are strong into the floor. You have a sense of length through the torso. Nice. Stretch that right arm straight up towards the ceiling. And then reach your left hand out to the side and just bring it flat to the floor. And then glide your right hand a little bit over towards the left. And then come back up to center. And again, your right hand a little bit over towards the left, feeling the stretch through the side of your waist and your rib cage. And then come back up. So it's about feeling the movement. So how do you feel the movement in the side of your rib cage, the side of your waist? And then coming back up one last time. Move your right hand over towards the left. And then come back. Nice. Take that right hand and slowly lower it down until it lands on the left knee. It's a very strange movement just there. And then bring your right hand over towards the left hand, and just pausing there. It's over in the direction of the left hand. Maybe it touches the floor, maybe it just reaches. And just feel into the back of your body, the full of your belly as you twist there. Nice. Come back to center. Stretch both legs long in front of you. And just roll out through your feet a little bit. Bend your knees a little bit. And roll your belly a little bit. And in the other direction. Noticing the movement that you're creating in the body. Where do you feel it? Which part of this movement do you enjoy? Like which bit of it is like, oh, that's really nice. And oh, that one's a bit, you know. There's like different parts of a movement that are very nice. But if some part of it is uncomfortable, we start to overlook all the nice bits. So for me, there's a really yummy bit over on my left rib cage, and then there's a kind of a twang that happens on the right side. And so if I slow down the right, it actually really steadies itself. And then the left side, I can deepen into it a little bit more. So slow down the twangs. So by acknowledging the different sensations that you're feeling, you can slow down into them rather than enduring things and keep twanging away. We can change things in our body. Nice. So other side. So bring the right foot to the inside and the left foot to the outside. Or whichever way you didn't do last time. That's the way I said, but see how it is for you. There you go. And then reach both hands forward in front of you. Bring your arms straight out to the sides. And just feel your chest widening, and you're reaching from the center of your chest all the way out into your fingertips. In loads of the other classes, we've been holding on to tins of chickpeas and tins of beans all week. And so just imagine you're holding on to something with your hands, and you have there's a sense of weight all the way out into your fingertips. Nice. Turn your palm so your left palm is face up, and then reach your left hand up towards the ceiling and drop your right hand till your hand comes to rest just on your lower back. It's not a very high hand behind you. And then bring your left hand to the top of your head and just feel that you have a long straight spine where you are, okay? And then bring your hand maybe to the back of your head. Do you still have a long spine? Check it. Bring your hand to the back of your neck. And maybe it's a little bit more compressed. Maybe you bring your hand back up again. See where you want to be, and then give your elbow direction. And so there's different schools of thought. One is that your elbow should move backwards to open your armpit. The other is that your elbow should slightly roll forward so that it engages the outer part of the trapezius, not the trapezius, the triceps. And so just feel, if you draw your elbow forward and up, or if you draw your elbow back and up, it changes the muscle that you're using. So just feel, which one do you prefer, forward and up or back and up? Nice, release your hand down. Oh no, actually reach your left hand straight up towards the ceiling, sorry, and bring your right hand to the floor just beside you. And then lean your left hand over towards the right. Feel your waist stretching. And then all the way back up. So it's not about really, it's about how do I feel my body in motion. We have this thing called sensory motor amnesia. So we've numbed out many different places in our body because we just numb them out for loads of different reasons. So as you move, the more you can sense into the different parts of your body, the more we function as a whole. Yeah, it's really quite wonderful. So one more time, leaning over towards the right with your left hand, and coming all the way back, and then lower your left hand down until it lands on your right knee. For me, this is such a weird range of motion. My arm always goes, no idea what you mean by that movement. It always kind of goes through this weird bit there. Maybe you don't have that, maybe you do. And then bring your left hand to the floor beside the right hand, and just pause there, or in that direction. And just pause there in that twist. Nice, and release. Stretch both legs long in front of you, and just roll out through your shoulders. And as you roll your shoulders, really appreciate your collarbones. Appreciate the full range of this circle, and even feel the way your arms glide along the sides of your rib cage as you move. Feel the clothing as it moves on your body, and then roll in the other direction. Rolling, deeply rolling. Nice. So we're going to do a twist, last of the sitting position. So take your right foot up and squeeze it up towards you. And then step your right foot up and over to the outside of your left knee. And then hold on to your right knee and sit up really tall. You just feel like you're pulling your chest towards your knee and your knee towards your chest. And then keep your left hand where it is and reach your right hand forward. And then pull your right elbow back. And as you pull your right elbow back, look towards the right. And again, reach your right hand forward. Feel the gliding forward, the reaching. And then pull your right elbow back, and as you pull it back, look towards the right. And I'm very constant with the pull of the left hand on my knee. So one more time, reach the right hand forward. I'm really solid with my left hand. Last time you pull your right elbow back, bring your fingers to the floor behind you, and just get really tall through your body. Feel a sense of widening through your chest, lengthening up through your spine, breathing into your belly. Nice, and release. Stretch the right leg long, and then bend the left knee. Squeeze the left knee in towards you. Step the left foot over till it lands on the floor. Hold on to your right knee with your both hands and squeeze your knee towards your chest and your chest towards your knee. Reach the left hand forward. So your right hand is really holding firmly. Reach the left hand forward and then pull the left elbow back. And as you pull the left elbow back, look towards the left. And then reach your left hand forward. Feel the movement into your shoulders and your back. And then pull your left elbow back. Nice, one last time. Glide your left hand forward, reaching forward, and then pull your left elbow back, bring it to the floor, and twist. As you open, as you twist, as you lengthen, you just feel the deep of your belly. And going back to center, stretch your legs out long. And if you have a pillow, or if you want to bend your knees, or if you have a little bolster or something, then put it underneath your knees, or bend your knees a little bit. Or if you're very relaxed, like if you're very open hamstrings, then you don't need anything. But having a pillow underneath your knees is very nice. And we're just gonna round ourselves forward. So just find either to bend your knees a little bit, not a lot, you know what I mean? So your feet are on the floor, or have your legs on a pillow or a bolster or something. And then just bring your hands either side of your legs, and then slowly, really slowly, like you're creeping slowly forward, let yourself round slowly forward to let your belly slowly melt down onto your thighs. And then when your chest has landed, then slowly begin to drop your head. And then walk your hands out to the sides a little bit. And let the weight of your arms really open through your shoulder blades and widen into the deep of the area between your shoulder blades. You can find, it's almost like find the sweet spot, which is the angle for your arms. So if you're going, oh, I don't really like it to the sides, then kind of creep them around the place until you go, oh, that's actually very nice just there. So find the angle for your arms and then drop your head there. Slowly bring your arms in, push your hands into the floor, let yourself rise up. Nice. Remove your block, and then just scooch yourself to the front of your mat. And then as you're rolling backwards, just let yourself round down, let your feet lift, and when you land on the floor, just appreciate the floor beneath you. So as you land, just feel, settle, and just have your knees bent, feet flat on the floor, and just rock your knees gently from side to side. Just rocking them easy, softly from one side to the other side. Just feeling into your hips, feeling into your belly. Squeeze the right knee up onto your chest, hug it in. Has that changed? Lower your foot to the floor, draw the left knee up onto your chest, squeeze it in. And lower it to the floor. Nice. From here, you have, we'll do, just stretch your legs up towards the ceiling just for a moment, literally a moment. And just feel that your legs are up, your spine is long on the floor. Legs are floating. Just feel into all of your toes. Can you feel all of your toes? The baby toes, the second toes, third toes, fourth and fifth. So third toes and second toes, they're a little bit blurry, or a second, like the three in the middle, they're so blurry. They're like is that the second one or the first one, or it's like they're kind of funny. So just see if you can feel them, or feel if you can feel them. Nice. Lower your feet to the floor. And then you can either keep your knees bent or you can stretch your legs out long. Just coming to rest, whatever way you do. Just landing, arriving, resting. Just appreciating the floor. Your hands, if possible, let them face the ceiling so that that area of the front of your armpits is opening and widening. And you're trying to almost imagine that your thumbs are going to roll towards the floor. Don't force them to. Just have that sense of a widening into the chest, which is softening. Your belly is releasing. Your hips are softening. There's a sense of settling. Taking a deep breath into your belly. Just noticing the wellness of you right now. Just check in. Where do you feel well right now in your body? Bending one knee, bending the other knee, squeezing both knees up towards you. Just squeezing them in, hugging them in maybe, or rolling your knees from side to side, or rocking, or see what you do. See how you emerge, how you rise, how you slowly begin to move again. How lovely. Super duper. Nice.